All right, then now let's go to another conversation. A lot around Democracy Day, which will still be playing out. But the leadership of the Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners and, of course, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria have strongly rejected what the term as unilateral imposition of a 12,500 levy per truck by Lagos State government for the Lagos e-call-up system along the Lekki-Ekpe corridor. The association, in a press statement made available to newsmen earlier today, said the levy is unacceptable, adding that they are prepared to explore legal and procedural means to challenge what is considered as an unwholesome economic burden. In a statement signed by the leadership of both associations earlier today, they conveyed their appreciation for the introduction of the e-call-up system for Lekki-Ekpe corridor, a policy recognized as a strategic initiative to ease traffic congestion and improve logistics flow along the axis. They explained that they had officially reacted to the proposed levy, citing the economic implications of this charge, particularly on the distribution cost and pricing of petroleum products. According to the statement, NARTO and IPMAN proposed a downward review to 2,500 naira per truck, reflecting equity, affordability, and broader national interest. Well, let's talk to the president of the Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners, Alhaji Yusuf Lawal Othman, live from Abuja studios. Thank you so much. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Yes, I think we should start with the origin of this crisis. Where did all of this, because according to what we've heard, there's been a series of meetings before now. Where are we and how did we get to this point?
Well, thank you so much. I must confess that we've had a series of meetings under the leadership of the Honorable Commissioner of Transport, Lagos State. And several times meetings will hold and will be, postponed for so many reasons. But finally, it came to a point where we understood. Originally, yes, they showed us even so many parking areas across Lagos State that our trucks will, when they come, they will key in, then they will park as a holding bay before they go to their respective loading points. But what came out at the end of the day was the fact that this payment is going to be borne by the transporter. Now, to a very large extent, I must commend Lagos State government and particularly the Commissioner of Transport. He's done a very good job as far as I'm concerned, or we are concerned generally, and he's doing a good job. And of course, we appreciate the initiative of trying to ensure that there is orderliness in every area across Lekki-Ekpe zone. We have, of course, recognized the fact that it's not only trucks that are in Lekki-Ekpe. There are a lot of residents, other businesses who also are entitled to their livelihood and business, exploration over there. But notwithstanding, of course, we know quite well that the state government should also realize the fact that for a depot to be there, a refinery to be there, as well as ports, naturally there will have to be off-takers. And these off-takers will come in so many forms: trucks, open body, wet, and every other. So as such, there should be some provision for those off-takers. And that is our belief. Now, if at the end of the day there is a plan to have orderliness, why not? We'll key in and ensure that every other person, is on board to ensure the success or efficacy of the project. Now, the bone of contention is the fact that in the last meeting that was held under the auspices of the Mr. Deputy Governor, where the meeting we were not there because we missed flight, and prior to that they called for meetings 3 times, and we got prepared, and the meetings were cancelled. And in so many instances, we even got to Lagos before they cancelled. But notwithstanding, they believe that, okay, since everybody is on board, decision is taken, it will commence on Monday on the 16th. Now, as far as we are concerned, yes, we key in, but we've written a letter to Mr. Governor and told him that, yes, we appreciate the work he's doing and, of course, the plan for the e-call-up, but there is need for a review downward of the proposed amount to be paid. this is to ensure there is efficacy in the activity, and maybe going forward as it progresses, maybe they can make some improvement. But nothing was done. We just heard that they're going to commence implementation on Monday. And this has not gone down well with a lot of our members. And myself being the president of these people, I have a responsibility to ensure that I fight their cause and take it to any length to the best of my abilities. And this is exactly what I'm doing.
Interestingly, if this happens, and because I know there are some levies being paid already, and this is added to it, that means Nigerians might have to pay more for petroleum products, one way or the other.
Eventually, the cost will have to be transferred to the consumers. And it's not only petroleum products. There are other goods that will be taken from the ports, from the Dangote refinery, there is fertilizer, and so many others, which will eventually be transferred to the eventual consumer. If it is from the ports, of course, to the consignee as well as to the consumer. And as much as we believe that they have good cause, but we believe the amount is too high. At the same time, also, if it is true that they want to remove the congestion, so-called congestion in the area, I want to believe that Dangote refinery should have adequate parking area for the off-takers of the product, be it petroleum product or fertilizer, as well as also Pinnacle. And so I don't see any cause for hiring, parks in the guise of all these. I don't think it's right. And also there are plans way back in Lagos. If you go to Lagos very well in the last 20, 30 years, you know that at times when they do odd and even numbers, and if there is a general belief that there is cure, that they can return odd and even numbers in the Lekki AP zone, as well as also to reduce the amount to the BRS minimum. Let us feel the impact of the project. Then probably as we feel the impact, we are not averse to the implementation, but we felt and we have complained, have written to His Excellency the Governor that there is need to look inward and probably review downward the proposed 12,500 per truck, so that we see how well this is done, this is managed, and probably after a certain time we can cover. And see, don't forget that there are a lot of off-takers who are Lagos-based, whose trucks move daily from Dangote refinery and maybe Pinnacle depot to service Lagos. And imagine every day they pay 12,000 every day. What is the amount they are being paid vis-a-vis the cost of the vehicle? And and at the end of the day, we are not even sure of the efficacy of the project, because we've experienced the Apapa call-up, either MP or whatever. We started, you see, when it rains, it pours. So that is why we're very careful. These consultants, they've not only been to Lagos State, they've been to various states in the coastal area that they have a very good project for revenue drive, where an old truck that pass through those states, they have certain amount they pay. And listen, I want to believe Mr. President has taken care of these extortions, because there was a meeting of some ministers, involving Minister of Defense, Agri, Livestock. I was in attendance trying to see how all these multiple taxations can be reduced so that the cost of goods across the country will reduce. Now, this is another form of extortion or tax, because it's not only Lagos State that are going to experience this. And there are a lot of states where, assuming you load from Lagos coming down to Abuja, imagine the number of states you will pass through, and imagine the amount you pay. And also, in Lagos State, for example, we have issues with LASMA. Imagine if you load from the Lekki AP exits, and a driver who is loading petroleum product coming from that area out to Ogere, there is no resting area. You imagine if you follow through the Lekki or then VI, then probably other areas, any stop, you pay 150,000, they will tow it, you can't rest, all these things. So all the facilities are not in place for you. It's not all about paying the money. I would expect that by now, if it is from Ijegun area or from Apapa, when you are coming down, there should be some resting areas for drivers loaded petroleum products. You know, not only petroleum products, loaded trailer drivers and so many other that. So that in case of any issue, LASMA catch you know you are getting value, but it's just collecting the money. For the last 10, 20 years, you see LASMA collecting money, but they have not made any provision to see that this money that is being collected, there is some value addition in terms of resting areas or where a vehicle has puncture, you can pass, you pay certain for certain parts, just to collect the money and no value addition. So that's why we are much concerned about this plan, whatever. Let them collect some few meager amount, then let them bring the service, then everybody will key in, then everybody will be happy, irrespective of the fact that you know, it's going to be additional pain in view of the high operational cost of running these trucks across the country. I wanted them to realize that today fuel is distributed in this country 100% by trucks. Now, if we are having these issues, every state will go will have to pay this amount of money. We have several, 3 different categories of transporters of this petroleum product. There are company-owned or practice, for example, assuming as a refinery, they have their own trucks. There's marketer trucks. Then there's third-party trucks who are an optaker who's giving service. So in all of these categories, we go across the country. Fuel today is distributed 100% by trucks. Now, if there's no return on investment or no and multiple taxation everywhere across the country, what is the benefit of getting into the business? At the same time, also, how would you be able to get all this done in a more peaceful environment? Moreover, we in Nigeria are Nigerians doing this business, and we're looking for people who will come in and key into Nigerian activities. And Nigerians are doing these things to themselves, and don't think it's right. So there is need for His Excellency, Mr. Governor of Lagos State, please look at this issue. We appreciate what they are doing. We appreciate their plans, but look at the pricing. Maybe let us see how it goes from maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Then probably we see how we could improve if there is need, but not just to come and just be collecting money for the sake of collecting money, not necessarily for the sake of giving service. Now,
let me follow up with understanding. If have you visited these parks? That's one. What's the capacity? And you know, because your trucks, the turning radius, and all of that, how comfortable it is that? That's on one side. But now the state government has insisted that this will take effect on the 16th. That's according to the essay to the governor, who would also try to reach out to get his views on this matter. Now, what will be your position as we move? Monday is just around the corner.
Yes, I quite appreciate we have taken legal measures. We are going to take procedural measures, of course. And you know, you can take the horse to the river, but you can't force the horse to take water. Our trucks can go there. They don't necessarily have to go to the Lekki area. They can remain around the area. They don't necessarily even have to go there. Because if there is nothing done, we will have to tell our members to be careful. If you feel you can pay the amount, you can pay. But as far as we are concerned, we have buttressed the concern of our people to the government and to the general public. I think we have done our bit, and we will not relent in ensuring that we do our very best until our strength is no more.
I talked about the park. If you've visited some of the parks, have you?
Yes, we visited some of the parks of at Badia and some at so many. We have not visited the parks at Lekki.
Okay.
But we believe, but irrespective of the fact that they have parks, the refinery, the major refinery there has its own park.
Okay.
Pinnacle has its own park. Why do you have to go to another park? In any case, if you are going to, so what they should look at, what we kept telling them is that, assuming you have an estate and you have a guest, we are guests, or somebody you are sending, or a dispatch person that will come. Once you come to the gate of the estate, he is supposed to take care of your entry and exit into the estate. As simple as that. So if you are going to Lekki Epe, You are either going to Pinnacle to load or going to Dangote to load. They should have provision for you and make sure you are, good to go before you come. You can't just come and be gallivanting across the road just because you are a transporter. Nobody wants to come and just waste his time on energy. I appreciate the fact that it's not only trucks that have this. There are a lot of inhabitants, there are government people, there are other businesses whose, livelihood and whatever probably, but we appreciate the orderliness, we want the orderliness, but we're appealing to government to look at this price of 2,500. At least for a starting point, let us see how far it will go. Then we will probably, if we feel, we will not feel the impact if necessary provision is made. But for now, we do not agree with the whoever the Shola Giwa. We don't agree with him. We would rather even talk to the commissioner directly, not even SA, because we felt let me reserve my comments. Thank you.
All right, then. Finally, I know recently there were some protests around the Apapa area, also around this, the e-collop system in Apapa, which we covered and aired, and not just, even other sister stations had that report. So what really was the challenge also with regards to this system, if it's really strategic?
It's still the issue of the e-collop, and we had some truce with them some few months ago, wherein sometimes vehicle will break down, they will call it abandoned. There are certain time frames, certain hours within which if a vehicle breaks down, it's considered abandoned before you send a crane to take it away. And so we agreed. And there are also provision where some of our members have their own crane. So if such is considered abandoned, we would like to use our crane and take it away. But initially they wanted to use their own crane because it's so exorbitant charges. The issue of this e-collop is something very germane that you see, especially the port issue. You see, it's beyond. Lagos is a state, but it's beyond a state. People managing such their thinking and their planning. People managing should be thinking that should go beyond. Lagos is a nation, and whoever is in charge is speaking should be looking at that, not just looking within Apapa, born and brought in Apapa, my life at school. No. These people should go to Benin, Cotonou, go to South Africa ports, go to Antwerp and see the operation, because some little action you do affects the whole country. That was why several times they've been thinking of how to make sure these ports operate optimally 24 hours. Some of these myopic ideas within certain people within the environment who have been in this over time for the last 10, almost 20 years, that is why there has not been any meaningful progress. We should have people who will think of this Lagos as a nation. It's beyond a state. So the actions and whatever should be, somebody managing such should be an international person, not just people within the people handling their affairs. I'm not referring to the Honorable Commissioner, but the people, small people there who are, they are the people giving us problems. So there is need to look at it as a holistic approach. All right. So that I even told them there is need for some of the operators to go to Antwerp, to go to South Africa port and see. But I don't know.
All right then, Alhaji Yusuf Lawal Othman, President, Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners. Thank you so much. It's a developing story. We'll stay with it and, of course, have updates from all angles. Thank you so much. Do enjoy the Democracy Day.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All the best. Thank you.
All right then. Well, we would take a breather and we will do some look at global stuff.